Alright, so you see the target line going up the side there. I'm going to squeak off just a small amount, and I use the side shifting feature on there to get right up against the line. And you see where it started, it's about 3/8 of an inch long where it started up to work its way up the line. And now I will advance the guide in so it'll go up. And I'm going to raise these up a little bit higher. Alright, now I've got over here and I've got right on the line. You can see what's left of the line up here. I went straight up the line. The bevels match very good, or the plunges match very good. Now I'm going to head for this line here. Here are blanks that I ground before I kind of finalized the process that I was using. And before I realized that this little tool has a front and a back, I thought I drilled it up pretty even, but I didn't. And so I realized that it's offset on one side, so if I flip it over, it gives it'll give the mismatched bevels. So I realized that later on after I did a few, figured out what the problem was, and so now I always used the same side forward. So what I'm doing basically here, these are already at the thickness I want along the edge, and I ground these at 95.3 degrees or 95.2, I can't remember which. But what I'm doing is taking them to a 95.1, which will not take any more material off the edge, but it's going to take the material off up here. And so what I'm doing is I'm just stretching the bevel up to here without going any deeper along the edge to kind of clean things up. And also I'm cleaning up the plunge lines using the finalized process now that I have it figured out. Yeah, I've got a 120 grit belt on here. This thing's working out good. This is the second blank I've done, and both blanks have hit perfect right on the line just by creeping this over. Before I was moving the whole guide assembly back and forth by hand, loosening the clamp, and I couldn't get, I could get really close. I could get closer than what you were seeing over there, and they looked, to the eye, they looked really good. But this thing here, I can move about 1/1000ths at a time, or even a little bit less, but I can measure at 1/1000ths increments using the digital readouts. I don't have one connected to the side movement at the moment, so I just creep it over very slowly until I get exactly where I want. And that works out pretty well. Alright, so now I'm going to head for this line. Close to the target up there. It's a little amount, about 1/1000th of an inch. All I adjust again is about 1/1000th, and I'll just make sure I remove that good. I'll go in about one more. tiny bit more. There's a little high spot right there. That's the area of the plunge. Not even 1,000, just a very tiny amount. I'm going to go in a little bit more. Perfect. Alright, so right at the end there, I had a little high spot. There was a little high spot right here. And so I went in about 0.5 thousandths and cleaned it on up. And didn't do very much. There was a small amount of removal here on the edge, but it hasn't caused any problems at this point. Now I'll flip it over and I'll match this to the other side. Now that I got the bevel or the plunges matched up, the other side will be just a matter of bringing it up to this line here. And I can use the digital readout for that. I'll zero the digital readout at this setting where this is, and then I'll work my way back in, all the time also checking my target line, make sure that I don't overrun it. But I can use the digital readout to kind of guide me in